This segment of the Alice Stewart Show is brought to you by Aero Plumbing. For all your household or business plumbing needs, call Aero Plumbing at 1-866-PLUMBER or schedule an appointment online at aeroplumbing.net.
And we're back on the Alice Stewart Show. 25 minutes until 8 o'clock, 7:35. We're looking at the final week, the big push for midterm elections, and it's so critical that you get out and vote and do your homework on the candidates and the issues on the ballot and make sure you vote. Otherwise, you can't complain. If you don't vote, you can't complain. That's kind of how it works in this country. Here to talk about the GOTV efforts, the Get Out the Vote efforts for the Republican Party, I'm joined with Doyle Webb. He is chairman of the Republican Party of Arkansas. Doyle, great to have you here.
Hey, Alice, it's always great to be on your show. Well, even this early in the morning, it's great.
It's okay. So there's a 7:30 a.m. A lot of folks are not always aware of that, but there is an a.m. and a p.m. So we appreciate you joining us on this a.m. And both parties, we had Adrienne Elrod in here earlier. She's been out getting out the vote for the Democratic Party. What is the Republican Party of Arkansas doing, and how is the turnout? What's the feedback from voters?
Alice, we're very pleased with the turnout. We have had our infrastructure turnout, door-to-door, phone calling, mail process in place since September of last year. We even had some people in the office working on it as early as last summer. So we're very pleased with what's occurring. We believe that Republicans are getting out and voting because they do not approve of the policies of Barack Obama. And the president has said his policies are on the ballot, right. And Republicans and conservatives are overwhelmingly opposed to that and want to send a message to the president.
And the key with that is to get folks out there and get them out to vote. And we're seeing with early voting numbers, they are pretty high. And latest shows that there's a 36% boost in the first week of early voting in this midterm election compared to that of the 2010 cycle. Do you view that as good news for the Republican Party?
Well, certainly we view it as good news. We also know that people now have started coming out and voting earlier, so the turnout on Election Day may not be as great because people like this convenience of early voting. But when we look at the counties and we look at the precincts where the votes are heavy, we are really excited about what's going to happen on Election Day when we will sweep the state. We believe that Tom Cotton will be elected, French Hill in 2nd District, Bruce Westerman, Asa Hutchinson for governor, all the way down the ticket. People are ready to change and to show America that Arkansas does not approve of the policies of Barack Obama.
And you indicate that. You mentioned it, and as you say, the president did say that his policies are on the ballot. And, of course, Democrats will push back and isolate and distance themselves from that. But how big of a factor do you see that being, Doyle? You say there will be a GOP sweep, but how big a factor? And are you hearing from people that they are frustrated with the policies of this president? And how big of a factor will that be in how people vote?
Alice, I believe it is a major factor. That's the reason the Democrats are saying it's not a factor, because they know it's an overwhelming factor. They're disagreeing with their president. They're trying to distance themselves from his policies. But, you can't, when you put lipstick on a pig, you've still got a pig, and we've got a pig of policies in this nation.
Wow. That sounds like Sarah Palin there. Okay, with regard to the overall ballot here in Arkansas, we get it that Barack Obama's policies are on the ballot, and that will be a factor in the candidates that are on the ballot. There are a lot of also initiatives that folks will be voting for, and those are important for people to know about that. We've talked a lot about the minimum wage. We've talked about statewide alcohol sales, but there's one that some people are not very aware of and a little confused on, and that is term limits that's on the ballot. Where is the Republican Party of Arkansas on that issue?
The Republican Party state convention back in July voted overwhelmingly to oppose issue number 3 that would extend term limits. We believe that term limits have worked well, that the people's House and the people's Senate have been more responsible to the voting public. We want to keep term limits the way they are, and we're asking people to vote against issue number 3 that would extend term limits. Don't be misled by the ballot title. Vote against issue number 3.
So issue number 3, you're encouraging folks to vote against it because it's a little confusing. Even if when you read it, it's confusing for many of the voters.
Well, right now, someone can serve in the Arkansas House for 6 years. This term limits change would allow them to serve in the Arkansas House for 16 years. And in the Arkansas Senate, they can serve 8 years under our present term limits. They could serve 16 years there. We think that's too long. We think it frustrates the will of the people, and Arkansans have traditionally supported term limits and know that it's good for government. And
big election night on Tuesday, where we know that Congressman Tom Cotton will be watching the results over in North Little Rock at the Wyndham. What about the bulk of the GOP watch parties?
Yes, the governor, well, I nearly said Governor Hutchinson, but I better wait. Asa Hutchinson, French Hill, and our ticket will be at the Embassy Suites there on Financial Parkway. The doors will open at 7 o'clock. We're going to party till midnight. We're looking for an exciting time. It's free to the public. Come out, enjoy seeing our elected officials and those who want to be elected. It's going to be a great night on election night at the Embassy Suites.
It will be a big night for everyone here in Arkansas and across the country. Doyle Webb, chairman of the Republican Party of Arkansas. Doyle, thank you.
Thank you, Alice.
Appreciate you. All right, we will take a break when we come back. John Eddy, new member of the American Conservatives Union. What's their focus? What will they be looking at during the midterms and after for 2016? This segment of the program brought to you by Aero Plumbing. For all of your household or business plumbing needs, give them a call, 501-588-3200, or go online at aeroplumbing.net.